author. You may know me as an online publishing coach, but I'd like to make a quick video about you and the idea of you becoming an author. Have you ever thought that you might want to write a book? Have you ever thought that it would be possible for you to be a published author on Amazon.com? Well, maybe you have and thought, you know what, it's just too much work. I've never written anything in my life except for a shopping list. I have no time. I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm here to tell you that you can absolutely do this, and I'm living proof. You know, I was actually a carpenter for almost 20 years of my life before I started getting involved with Amazon publishing. And now I make a full-time living as an author and publishing coach. And I'm here to tell you that if I can do it, there's no reason why you can't do it yourself. But first, let's talk about the why. Why should you even consider writing a book? Now again, I'm not talking about writing the great American novel. I'm talking about writing a children's picture book, for instance. Just like I did. I actually wrote it just a couple months ago, and I started it sitting in bed with my 8-year-old son, Joe. I actually wrote it in about 7 days and published it to Amazon, and it became a #1 bestseller almost overnight. Let me show you a couple of pictures here. This is when it was listed. This was #2 here in this category, children's books, boys and men. You can see it was listed as a hot new release. It was #2 here, but it actually went to #1 on the same day that I released it. As you can see here, is #1 in that same category, boys and men. And here's what it looks like in the Amazon marketplace today. And I want to show you very quickly how easily this came together for me, because you can absolutely do this yourself. Now, this is a children's book. It's basically a book of pictures. It's a book of images based upon a handful of gross out booger scenarios and this character that we made up called Milo Snot Rocket. That was Joe's idea. And as I mentioned, we sat down in bed and we just wrote down some situations. It came together just that easy. Let me show you really quickly. Wipe them under your desk at school, right? So these are things never to do with your boogers. Or as I say in the subtitle, disgusting things you can do with your boogers that will make your mom scream. Flick them randomly into space, add them to your bowl of cereal for breakfast, collect them in a jar and give them to your grandma. Gross, right? This is straight from the mind of an 8-year-old boy, if you couldn't tell. And if you're a parent, you know what I'm talking about. But this is exactly how quickly and easily this book came together. I actually sat down with my son at bedtime with a notebook and I wrote down these situations. I think there are a couple dozen of these situations. And from there, I wanted to match them up with images, just like this one on the cover here. I'm not an artist. I couldn't do it if I tried, but I don't have to, and you don't either. So I took this list and I sent it to an outsourcer, a fantastic artist that I found on a website called Fiverr.com. If you've never been to Fiverr before, it's a place where you can go and spend $5 and people will be willing to do almost anything for you under the sun. Some very talented people here with some very specific skills. In this case, I was looking for an illustrator, but you can get graphics done here, you can process videos, you can have some social media stuff done for you, etc. But I came here to Fiverr and I was looking for illustrators, so I think I just started typing in illustrations. And I click enter. And I came to this page with 790 search results for people willing to do illustrations for me. And you can see there's all different types of illustrations available to you by all of these different vendors here. And I ordered an illustration to go with every one of these situations. I simply found an illustrator whose cartoons I liked and I thought would lend itself very well to this for this subject matter, which is a gross out 8-year-old boy book. I sent him this list, and about 6 days later he sent me a big file of cartoons, and I only had to pay $5 a piece. That is a bargain. And by the way, you don't need to pay for these images. You can go to a royalty-free image site like Stock Exchange, which is www.sxc.hu, and find some royalty-free pictures to include in your picture book. Just make sure that you check the rights to these. But of course, I now had original illustrations that I ordered from this guy on Fiverr, and they added a ton of value to my book, and they looked great. Let me show you some of these. Yeah, it was very simple, simple line drawings. I think he did it on his iPad, he told me, and he just drew them with his finger. Super cool stuff. And from here, it was just a cut and paste job, right? So I had the topics, I had the 24 situations, the gross out situations. I had these images now, and I had been working on writing some little blurbs to go with each one of these situations, and I just cut and paste them into this Word document. So for example, this was the original situation that I came up with, Joe. Don't ever flick your boogers randomly off into space. Here's the illustration that I got from the guy on Fiverr. And here's just a little blurb. This is no more than 125 words or so that I wrote with Joe. It was fun, it was fast, it was easy to do, and that was the entire book. I had a page for each one of these. And so within 7 days, I had a unique, funny, original book manuscript that I was ready to publish to Amazon. I submitted it to the Kindle e-bookstore, and within 24 hours it was live, and it was making a lot of sales. I've actually sold hundreds and hundreds of copies of this book, and as I showed you previously, it went to #1 for me. So as I mentioned, if I can do this, you can do this too. You can see exactly how easy it is. There's no mystery to putting this book together. And in fact, you can write any book in this same fashion. Chunk it down into short chapters. You don't need an image if you're writing something about something that you know. If you're not writing a children's book, if you're writing a book on organic gardening, something that's a passion of yours, something that you're publishing as a niche publisher, think in terms of short chapters. Lay them out beforehand, just like I did here. And then think in terms of writing a short article or blog post or email, however you want to think about it. Chunk it down into these chapters, write 5 paragraphs about each chapter heading, and then cut and paste them into a Word document and submit it to Kindle. So there you go. That's my story. My question is, what are you going to write about? And once it's published, how can you push it to the top of the bestsellers list, just like I did with this book? Believe it or not, it is not difficult to get on the Amazon bestsellers list and even turn it into a #1 bestseller, just like I did here. I'm going to tell you all about that in the next video. Don't miss it. I'll see you there.